Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome, how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Are young men competing for Filipinas? Is this bad news for expats, foreigners? You've probably heard about the stereotypical older foreigner going across the world in search of a young Filipina to marry. I did that myself when I was 53, and I'm glad I did. I have a friend who is looking for a Filipina wife, actually several, and I hope this sort of thing doesn't change, but something might be changing, and that would be younger men looking for a Filipina. Please subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea to learn about foreigner and Filipina relationships. Leave comments, get notifications by clicking the bell and then clicking the word add to complete that process. Today's topic is about younger men possibly having more of a presence in the Philippines. Let me know your thoughts, those of you who are there. I have heard talk about Filipinas perhaps finding it a little easier to become attached to younger foreigners. A sentiment like things are changing in the Philippines. Have you heard that? If you have your eye on expat message boards, have you seen anything like this? I would like to hear what you know about this. When I was a disc jockey in South Dakota, we had a song by Merle Haggard called "Are the Good Times Really Over for Good?" Apparently some people think that change might be in the air. This could be in reference to younger men who are in the Philippines for a short vacation, but that isn't anything new. I have talked to a man in his 20s who was interested in a particular Filipina, and there was a guy at work who was 37 when he recently went to the Philippines and got married. I have read a comment from a younger man who lamented that most of the Filipinas they thought were only looking for older men. So I believe younger men are definitely interested, and they should be. And if they are serious, the younger Filipinas should be willing to give them a chance. I'll link a playlist for you for some other videos I have on young men and Filipinas. I see no reason why a man should wait another 10 or 15 years before deciding that he isn't likely to find a suitable wife where he is. I waited 30 years, assuming I could find someone in America, somebody around here, but that's not the way it worked out, and ultimately I'm glad for that. I signed up on a dating site and was married roughly 8 weeks later after I signed up, and that's right, after only 8 weeks. Have you heard that times are changing? Older men are desired due to the perception of better financial stability and the likelihood of being faithful to the younger Filipina. It has probably been that way since I've been alive, but if younger men are jockeying for position more these days, maybe younger men from other countries, you know what? I think that's great. There are a lot of Filipinas looking to marry a Westerner. I don't see why the usual dynamic would change much, and there is room for younger guys as well, don't you think? Younger guys have advantages, as I've mentioned before, similar age, for obvious reasons, more time to spend with the Filipina, and the potential for stable income. They will need to overcome the idea that they aren't as trustworthy and go out of their comfort zone to travel to another country to find a wife and have the patience to wait out the immigration process. And I think that older guys often find something like that easier to do. Wait it out, be patient. It is possible one reason for the change in perception is the influence the internet has had on women in the Philippines. Tinder, a dating app, has one for the Philippines. Maybe some younger women are using it, probably a lot. I don't know if the young guys realize it or not, but a good Filipina is not interested in a one-night stand. She wants a good man who can help her financially or lives in a country where she can go marry him and then work, be his wife, but then she works to provide for her family. And I don't think she's necessarily looking for old or young. She's looking for a better life and for someone to treat her well. If the new dating apps are only attracting guys who want one-night stands, then I don't believe they are really any competition, at least not for the women who would make good wives. If the new dating apps are helping connect young men who want marital commitment, then I say good for them. At Love Beyond the Sea, I want to encourage all men to consider the Philippines, just to consider as a place to find a quality wife, especially if you are disenchanted where you live. Time waits for no one. I found an amazing wife, but I hadn't considered the Philippines. Maybe I could have thought about it a long time ago, but it just didn't seem necessary. But I've always been fond of Filipinas and ended up marrying one. Another possibility with maybe more of a younger male presence in the Philippines is that younger guys could be moving to the Philippines. You know, they have a job where they can work online and are looking for a wife. There's a lot of people moving around like that today. They could represent competition for other expats who are not married, and it is up to the Filipina to determine if the younger guy is suitable for her. But I just don't see this being a problem. Is the playing field changing the Philippines, making it more difficult for the typical expat or chatting with Filipinas online? Some think so. My channel is a pro-marriage, Filipina-friendly one, so I don't have a horse in the race. I don't have feeling of dread for older men interested in a Filipina. They can still find one, just don't wait too long, you know, and be realistic. Marriage to a good woman is one of the best, if not the best, blessings for a man. Due to economic realities, many Filipinos are willing to marry and then live overseas, or to give a younger guy a chance if, you know, he has what she's looking for. And I'm all for that. I have my dream Filipino wife, and I want others to find one too, and have made this channel to help those who want to learn about the dynamics of a foreigner and Filipina relationship. And if there really is going to be competition someday, you know, in sports they say competition just makes you better, and maybe we will see that in foreigner and Filipina relationships. Our time is really changing in the Philippines. Even if it comes to that, I believe you can still find love beyond the sea.